Years ago, about 5 years, no, actually about 6 years ago, my wife brought some cuttings of aloe vera from her family's home. And they were little tiny cuts. And those cuts were so tiny, I had them in 5-gallon containers. Then I graduated them to 10-gallon containers. And eventually I said, you know what? They grew roots. And so I was breaking them off at the side. And I decided, I'm going to take a chance. And I decided to plant them in a wine barrel. Well, this is what I have today. They grew multiple shoots, and from there, they went haywire. My wife, being an herbalist, have always wanted to make sure we had plenty enough aloe vera in the backyard. Aloe vera is not just a wonderful herb, because that's what it is. It's an herb. It's used for everything from burns to, rashes, and you can even consume this for medicinal purposes. But more so, you could make your own aloe vera hand sanitizer. Now, if you got them crowded like this, they're not going to do well as far as size when it comes to growing them in a contained space that is very crowded. Let me explain it. Typically, if you have your aloe vera in a container, aloe vera, the arms or shoots, or some people call them fingers or tentacles, like an octopus, they could get fairly wide and fairly tall. So what do you do if you wanted to grow your aloe vera in such proportions? It's quite simple, and I'm going to share those details with you. For number one, the first thing you want to do is you want to pull up an entire shoot. And you can usually do that by going to the very bottom, and you may end up finding some smaller shoots. You can plant those in smaller containers until they're mature enough to repot them in a much larger container. But you literally go down to where the root is and pull it straight up. If your soil has been amended where it's porous enough, you could do that. Look at the little kitty right behind me. Oh, you're so cute. Hi, baby. Hi, mamas. But nevertheless, you could take this up, put it in its own container, or you can choose to plant it in the ground, which is even better. Okay? And when I say better, I'm saying if you want a much larger plant that's going to have larger, fatter tentacles. Okay? But you could plant this in its own container, and it will also give you much larger tentacles, much thicker and wider. But whenever it starts putting off shoots, you want to take those shoots away, because they're going to take energy away from the main plant. Very important to know this, and very important to understand this. Okay? Folks, I know I'm showing you this aloe vera plant, and some of you may not understand how to plant it. But remember, aloe vera is a drought-tolerant plant. Just like most plants you find this little kitten is making me laugh, and I apologize. But just like this is the one that comes near me all the time. Let me just put the camera over on, I think it's a girl, but you see it, you see her just run across. Hi, baby. Hi, mamas. Anyways, the bottom line is that I don't even know where I was, but you want a well-draining soil, but not too porous where it doesn't hold water. Because number one, this is a drought-tolerant plant, and you don't want to water it as often you would do most of your other plants. You definitely, as far as I'm concerned, there's multiple plants here, which means there's multiple root structures. So I do a watering that is more like 10 to 15 minutes, and I will put my hose up here and let it drip down there. And that way I could saturate the soil and allow the water to run off at the bottom. And they hold water. I'm going to break one of these off because I want you to really see what it looks like. Okay? And so let's go ahead and zoom in there a little bit. And I'm going to break, let's say, I typically break from the bottom. So if you folks don't mind, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to let you see that really quick. I'm going to go right here. Let's see. You know, I like this one since it's already sort of broke. I'll just go ahead and pull that one off. And I'm going to share with you this wonderful, powerful medicinal plant. Now, if you notice here, okay, look at this plant here. And I want you to notice, you see that gel-like substance? You can take a thin knife and you can peel this back. You can peel this back. Yes, this can be consumed. It's going to be very bitter, but it can be consumed. But you can peel this back, okay? And whenever you have a wound, such as a, you know, some sort of burn, put it over. It's also a good facial moisturizer, and it provides such a release. And it also shields you from sunburns. It's great for sunburns. I like to rub it on my skin, okay? And I got rough hands. You folks see my hands, I'm very rough. And it's just a great alternative to have in your garden. So many people grow food and crop, but we forget about the herbs were given to mankind for the healing of the nation. And we must learn about these herbs, okay? I'm going to go ahead and open this up some more. Look at all that wonderfulness. Look at that. Okay? Just rub it all over you. And it's not sticky. Your skin absorbs it, which is beautiful. So the soil that I use a good potting mix along with a little amount of cactus mix for porosity. But that's about it. And every year, I will top it off. You know, with some compost, my own compost that I make. I don't feed it. If I feel that for some reason it's running out of nutrients, then I'll go ahead and throw in some more compost because that's the feed. It is a heavy feeder, but it's also drought tolerant. Okay, so if you feel like between your compost feedings that things are not going well, do yourself a favor. Get yourself an organic fertilizer, a well-balanced fertilizer. Something preferably in the numbers of 5, 5, 5, 10, 10, 10, 15, 15, 15. It doesn't matter. Just make sure you don't go past 15 because that's a strong fertilizer. And I don't think a lot of people understand the higher the number, the stronger that fertilizer is. Okay? So a well-balanced fertilizer would be great. And if you happen to be outside and you use some Aloe-Vera, for whatever reason you use it for, do yourselves a favor. Go ahead and toss the rest back in there. Your soil will recede every year. Fill it back up with your fresh compost, and the plant will be ready to go the following season. It will get bigger, but here's the best thing. Take you about 3 to 4 wine barrels. You can take 10 if you want, and take these shoots and start planting them. And you can have a row, a beautiful hedge, wine barrel hedge of aloe vera. I'm going to do that. Stay tuned. And until next time, I'll see you on the next video. That's a guarantee. Little octopus.